Hi there. I just want to start this message by saying a massive thank you to all the people who have contributed to our short thoughts. In the next season, we are going to change the rhythm a bit and we're just going to have a weekly midweek thought instead. And rather than methodically going through a Bible passage, I'm going to be just sharing some things that God is laying on my heart and others. And I've been reminded this week, I felt God speak to me that it's all about people. That's what I felt God say to me. And we know, don't we, that churches are coming together of the two greatest commandments: to love your God and to love your neighbour. And I'm not suggesting for a second that we ignore the God part of that, although it's all too easy to do that in church life, as we've all maybe seen at times. But as members of a church, sometimes there is just stuff that needs doing. Good, important stuff on the whole. And I'm so grateful for a lot of that, for those of you who've been doing kids resources, for our video team, risk assessment writers. But I just felt God remind me this week that the people stuff is of utmost importance. And as part of this, I was discussing John chapter 4 with someone, and that's the passage where Jesus meets a woman at a well, and that actually gives us our name as a church. There's so many great things in that passage: spirit and truth, inclusion and racism, sin and grace. All of these are great topics to talk about. But at the center of this chapter is Jesus encountering a woman face to face, engaging with her and changing her life forever. Now, after he's done this, she then goes off to tell the people in the village, and it goes on, John 4, verse 40. So when the Samaritans came to him, they urged him to stay with them, and he stayed there for 2 days. The maker of heaven and earth, the maker of the whole universe, there in this little village, wanting to spend time with this woman and then being willing to take 2 whole days to spend with the rest of her village. Now, firstly, that tells us a lot about our God. He wants to step into our lives, into your life, and spend time with you. But it also directs us and encourages us that time spent with people is important. There is a value in connecting with people. Now, we know this very well, but I want to take this time to really encourage us to keep on doing that. You see, watching a church service online on a Sunday morning for an hour, that doesn't make us part of the church. Connecting with the other individuals who are part of that church family, that's what makes us a part of the church. 2 Thessalonians 3 and verse 13 says, never tire of doing what is good. Folks, connecting with people is good. And I'm so grateful for the way that that's happened in many ways recently amongst our church. Online community groups, back garden cups of coffee, socially distanced walks, catching up with people, hey, how you doing, phone calls or texts or whatever. Not to mention the care and concern that I've heard church members have for their neighbours, for their work colleagues, for people they live around. These things are all good. Let's not get tired of doing the good. As this pandemic rumbles on, don't get tired of doing the good. Remember to keep thinking people, 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 and know that's God's heart for you, and That's God's heart for us. Be creative, be generous, look out for those on the fringes of the church and of society. But remember, people, people,